Hi, I'm David Shannon, and I'm here today with the wonderful, magnificent Alexis Tucci.
Hello.
Thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Sure. And we are here today in Scott Logan's photography studio, and so we are very thankful to Scott for allowing us to record our little talk show here today. We are here today, and we're going to talk about what's going on with dancing in St. Louis.
Which is my favorite topic, by the way.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So we're going to talk about country dancing, and we're going to talk about your monthly Night Chaser event.
Yes.
So, country dancing.
Country dancing. So you have a dance party that you've been doing for how long now?
That's been going on for years. At least 8 that I know of, maybe longer than that. I've been dancing as a part of it for a little over 3 years. I've been facilitating it for about 1.5 years.
And this is line dancing.
It's line dancing and it's couples dancing. We do two-step, we do country waltz, a variety of other couples dances too. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun.
Yeah.
And so that's been going on for roughly around 8 or 9 years, but recently you have been where?
We have been at the building that's at the end of Van Deventer in Manchester, where Bad Dog used to be, and what was Bombers Hideaway.
Got it. And now you're looking for a new location, I hear.
We are. Yes.
Well, that's interesting, because I throw this great party where everybody's allowed to come and dance.
Yeah.
Yes, once a month.
Cool.
You want me to tell you about it?
Yes, but let's talk about what's our search for this new location.
Right, so you're in
How that's
between
going.
spaces. How is that going?
We have been talking, myself, Scott Bunch, Steve Zeiger, who formed St. Louis Country Dance Association. We have been in touch with a venue owner in St. Louis who is interested in having us there. Due to circumstances, it's not a situation that we can get into right away. So it may be 4 or 5 weeks. Scott and myself went and actually looked at the space, and we liked what we saw. And we need to schedule and have a face-to-face meeting with this venue owner sometime soon.
What is it that you're looking for when you're looking for a space? What's the best ideal situation?
A decent dance floor. Yeah, a dance floor with enough space to dance around, mainly. Well, we're also looking for a bar-type establishment, an LGBT, it doesn't necessarily have to be LGBT, but an LGBT bar-type establishment, because we benefit from having the walk-through traffic, you know.
That's great.
And and we can form sort of a mutually beneficial relationship with a bar-type establishment like that, because we bring them business, you know.
That's great. And do they usually go till 1:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning? What are your standards?
We don't. The country dancing crowd usually gets there, and we'll have an hour of dance lessons, free dance lessons, and then we'll dance for about 2 hours, and then everybody's pretty much worn out. And, you know, sometimes it'll go over 2 hours, you know.
Got it.
But
it's a little different than my crowd. We have to pull the plug out of the wall to get
really?
them to stop dancing.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, but that's good. So you have a space that's coming up, but not immediately.
Right. And the reason I keep saying venue owner and not mentioning that name is because it's not a for sure thing yet. It looks good. There's interest, but I don't want people going around saying, oh, this is where we're going to be, when we don't know for sure whether or not that's where we're going to be.
I can completely understand.
Yeah.
Night Chaser has been looking for spaces all of 2015. We have been very displaced. We had a residency all of 2014 on Cherokee Street, and just due to circumstances, we had to find a new home, and it has definitely changed the mood of the party because we are in a new location every month, still in the search for our perfect spot to be in on a regular basis.
Okay.
So I feel you. I know exactly what it's like, because you want it to feel right, and you want it to have a few of your items on your checklist that meet your criteria to create, a good party.
Right.
So, sure.
And Night Chasers once a month. It's coming up in July, and this is a cool thing that I'm bringing up for the country dancing community, because since we are in hiatus, we need opportunities to get together. Because for us, it's just as much about community, or even a little bit more about community than it is dancing. And this community of people, we need opportunities to get together. And you and I had talked about bringing some country folks out to Night Chaser anyway.
Right.
Before, we were going to sort of do a crossover kind of thing, which we can't do now because country dancing isn't operating every week. But your Night Chaser event coming up in July is going to be something awesome that we can go to. and I'm excited about that. And when you told me, when you and I met about 4 weeks ago, and you were telling me about Night Chaser, I had never heard about Night Chaser before. I didn't know what it was, so I'm assuming that most of the country dancing crowd doesn't know what Night Chaser is either. So tell us what Night Chaser is and what that's all about.
Well, I like that you emphasize community in your mission with your dancers. When we started Night Chaser a year and a half ago, it started with the spark of just being enthusiastic about disco music. And when we talk about disco music, it's shies away from popular disco music. It's definitely of the era of late 70s and early 80s dance music. And we like to focus primarily on playing vinyl records. Occasionally when we bring DJs in from out of town, we're not as strict about keeping it on vinyl because they're traveling. But we started the party. Also, I've been producing events underground in St. Louis for years, over 2 decades, and I love this city and I love the community that lives here. And when we started this party, and as it started to snowball, started to realize that it was less about using the word disco as the type of music, but using it as the room at which in the 70s and 80s, a disco was an all-inclusive venue.
Okay.
It was a place where anybody of any denomination could come and feel accepted and feel like a part of a community. And I've been very fortunate to grow up in several different communities like that are open to everyone. And as the disco grew, I started to realize that there were no boundaries to the people attending. No age boundaries, no sex boundaries, no color boundaries. And for someone like myself, I win then as a promoter because that's my goal.
And we all do.
And we're starting to, recognize that the crowd is growing to people I've never seen before coming out to support. And, the formula has been that we're a late night party and that we have been going into these different venues recently. And the most, I think, well-respected and loved venue that we have fallen into is the roof of the Missouri Athletic Club parking garage. We bring out a full-blown light system that just transforms the space into a really magical location.
So tell us how big of a space we're talking about here.
Okay,
the roof
so
of this.
it's a roof of a parking garage and it's two levels.
Okay.
And it's just expansive. We create nooks based on the way that the garage is just kind of broken up as you go down levels. And then we also frame it out with the lighting and the sound system, the way the bars are set up. We do have cash credit bars, premium. The Missouri Athletic Club has been extremely gracious in supporting this event and allowing us to, dance throughout the night under the stars. The advantage to a parking garage is if the weather is inclement, you just go down a rung. So we've got coverage. And July 18th is the next Night Chaser event. And the weather's supposed to be fantastic thus far, but it's in St. Louis, so who knows.
Right.
But when we had talked and you had told me that you had this huge community of dancers that you work with once a month, I was like, this is a perfect place for it. If your crowd is open to a different style of music, I love partner dancing to disco, and I also, disco definitely nodded to the country scene as well, and so I think that there's going to be a real crossover. And
well, when we talked, you asked me a question. Remember, you said I have a question for you, and I said I know what the question is, and you said no, you don't, and I said yes, I do, and you said no, you don't, and I said yes, I do, and you said okay, what's the question? Do you remember what the question was?
I think
it was can you country dance to music that is not country music?
Yes.
And I said yes, and we do already.
That's awesome.
So that is cool.
So I'm excited. Unfortunately, just again, due to circumstances and the nature of Night Chaser in 2015, this will be the last opportunity that we have to have our disco on the roof of the Missouri Athletic Club parking garage. So we're hoping that everyone that's experienced it before, have been curious about experience it, gets to come out and celebrate on July 18th because it's our last opportunity for such a beautiful location, overlooks the riverfront in downtown St. Louis.
So this is an extra special opportunity.
Yes, and it's an extra special Night Chaser. It's called Chaser. It's a Night Chaser festival. What makes it a festival is that instead of just being DJs in a bar and starting at 9 o'clock, we've bumped it up to 6 o'clock. We've opened it up to families. If you wanted to bring in your extended family to come out and dance earlier in the evening, it will definitely take on its Night Chaser characteristics as it gets later into the evening. But we have special dancers and hosts and vendors. We have roller skaters, trick roller skaters that'll come out and dance. We have fire dancers that are going to be there.
Well, and you had mentioned before that there's all different types of dancing going on here.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
And so it's sort of a feast of an experience of seeing all of these different
Yes,
things.
and a perfect invitation for
Yes.
your crowd to come out. I think they're going to love it.
Yes.
And anybody that's come apprehensive has fallen in love with the party and stayed for hours.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that as well. I just think it's a good marriage. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And yes, when you do have your new home, we're super excited to come over. I told my whole family who loves country music.
That's great.
We're going to come out and
Help
dance
us
and
pack out that place.
show us how to dance.
We'll get that
To
new
that.
venue owner real happy, get
Yes.
it all packed out.
Yes.
So, Night Chaser in July.
Yes.
Saturday, July 18th.
Correct.
Put it on the calendar, save the date. Starting at 6 o'clock if people want to bring.
Well, you don't have to bring family to come at 6 o'clock. I mean, our resident DJs, let me talk about that just real quickly.
Sure.
We have 2 resident DJs that have been holding it down, DJ Needles and Mark Lewis, who are very avid DJs in St. Louis. They play a variety of music, but they bring their disco chops when they play at Night Chaser. And we've just welcomed Hal Greens to our lineup. Those 3 are resident DJs, and they're going to be opening up the party for the beginning part of the day. So it's tunes that you definitely don't want to miss because they're just phenomenal local DJs. I mean, the last Night Chaser we threw on the roof was just our local DJs, and we had 450 people, which to me, again, is another win for a promoter who's trying to really invest back in our local talent versus always bringing in out of town. Now, being that this is a special Night Chaser and it's a festival, we have 4 headliners that are coming in from other areas of the country.
Okay.
We have Derek Carter and DJ Freak, both coming from Chicago. Derek Carter has been holding down a residency called Queen on Sunday nights in Chicago, which is a very drag-eccentric house music and disco party. So I think that he's going to come and bring a flair that is just going to blow the proverbial roof off of the place.
Okay.
And DJ Freak is a good friend of mine from Chicago who's been my disco mentor for years. Then we're bringing Robbie Hardkiss in from San Francisco of the Hardkiss Brothers, and he was one of the original DJs on the rooftop when we played when we had a party there in September, and we had almost 700 people for that one.
Okay.
And then finally we're bringing in a disco legend, Sleazy McQueen. Lauren is from Orlando, and he owns a record label called Whiskey Disco, and he is outstanding.
Okay.
I'm going to see him in Chicago this week.
Are you going to be DJing?
No, I got to tell you, I don't DJ my parties. People ask that and they're confused why I don't, but my residents are so good at disco. I mean, I play a lot of house music influenced by disco, but to be honest, I want to host the party. I started this party so I could go and have a place where I could dance all night long, and I didn't want to have to work.
You think we may get them to throw on a couple songs for us?
Oh, quite possibly.
And talk to them
Yeah,
about
for
that?
sure,
Because
absolutely.
we have some cool line dances to show off. One or two that
Could be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk through that. I think that's going to be amazing. I think the energy is going to be great. But anyway, so that's our lineup. So coming early doesn't mean you have to bring the family. I mean, if you come early, it means you get just that much more of an experience. And what's cool about the roof and the fact that we have vendors and other things to show is you don't have to come and just dance for 5 hours straight. You can, there'll be food opportunities and cocktail opportunities and then shopping opportunities and some other stuff within the event as well.
So you could just come eat there. Don't worry about dinner if you don't
Absolutely.
want to. You just come eat. How late does this go?
It's going to go late.
Okay.
Definitely, I will say 3-ish.
So we can basically just come anytime we want.
Yes, and we're going to sell advance tickets for $15. The information for that will be on our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Night Chaser, and it's all one word. And we'll have advance tickets all the way up to the day of show, and it'll be $20 at the door.
Okay. And this is hundreds of people show up for this kind of thing.
Yes.
Like 400 to 700.
That's what
a big
we have
deal.
traditionally, so
Okay.
hopefully we'll get even more for
Okay.
this round.
Because this is the last time we're going to be at.
The Missouri Athletic Club
Yes.
parking garage.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, awesome. So, Country Dancing Community, put that on your calendar. Saturday, July 18th. We're going to get a group together to go out there for that. Thank you so much for being here with
Thank
me
you for the
today.
opportunity. I got a great friend out of this. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
it was
So
good to meet you.
it was nice to meet you too.
So stay tuned when we come at you in the future with more news about what is going on regarding dancing in St. Louis.